All right, thank you so much for staying with us here on Amka Kenya. Of course, time for Amka to end the viral as we take a look at what is shaping the news today on the newspapers. Tony.
All right, niko na swali kwa Ken in regards to hii story ya Maraga before tuende kwa next next page. Now, tumeona kwa muda mrefu sana viongozi wa kisiasa wa Kenya Kwanza na ama viongozi wa serikali wakiweza kutoa pesa mbalimbali katika what they term it as a economic empowerment. You have seen Kindiki Kithure, that is deputy president, in different events, Tana River and so and so. In a statement here, Maraga has been outspoken in questioning the source of staggering amounts of money displayed at what government official call economic empowerment events. Nataka nisikie your take on 2027 in terms of the politics za money. Do you think zitatawana sana na what will be the impact yake kwa uchaguzi na kampeni za 2027?
You know, we are having I think majority of those people you see walking around with the deputy president dishing out money.
Yeah.
Their source of income, all of them, if you look at them, they only have one source of income. That is members of parliament. And their salaries we know. So the big question is, where are they getting this money from? And contrary to that, you are seeing we have issues around SHA, the 65 billion debt that SHA is owing hospitals. We are still asking questions. Who is managing the SHA accounts? Because we are told that it's managed by private accounts. There is chances that the money that we are paying for SHA does not reach where it should reach. It is cut in between here, and that's what is being used for this economic empowerment that people go around doing.
All right, but now,
Mr. Kindiki, let me just say something about Mr. 64 shillings. You know, it doesn't make sense to convene a delegation of women, bus them in sun the whole day, and then group them in 30 groups and give them 2,000 shillings to divide amongst themselves. What we are saying is this: 2027 politics might not be as expensive as people are trying to imagine. In fact, because Kenyans have made a clear decision that they are going to transform the politics and the leadership of this country, regardless of how much you're going to spend. In fact, there are certain people will spend as much as 130, 400 million, but they will not secure even an MP seat because the constituents are dissatisfied with how they are managing their positions as of now. Yeah.
Is it time that we get away from the issue to do with dishing out cash when it comes to how do we get out of that?
We have to get away with that. You see, I'm a voter, and there are more voters like me, and we've analyzed the situation and realized that the biggest problem we are having happens during campaign times and election time. You know, Brian, if I bribe you today to vote for me, do not expect much because you do not know the source of the money. Get that? So people are striving to steal more so that when they come back on the ground, they dish out more and go back to power. And that's what Kenyans are saying, and then Gen Zs are clear on this, that we want to see development progress. Get that? And how do we get into this? Stop dishing out money. Give us health infrastructures. Give us schools. Give us water points. Get that? Give us security. We want to see tangible things on the ground, not convening meetings and issuing some few coins and cash and then disappear. That's politics that we are getting done with. And 2027 must be a game changer. Young people have committed that they are going to elect meritocracy.
But let me ask you, Babu, the people that are dishing out money are dishing out to a public that is willing to receive.
But there's nobody who will reject money. So even you, if I give you money right now, you won't take it back to me. But what I'm saying is, in fact, this should be a clarion call. If a politician today, those who are holding offices right now, if they come with if they come with money, take it. Take that money. Okay. After all, that is your tax. Because you are being taxed and you can't see anything on the ground tangible that is reasonable to the amount of tax you are paying. So it means that your tax is being diverted to come back to you as a bribe. Okay. Take the money. Right. But what we are saying is, at the ballot point, you must make informed decision.
All right.
Well, because 1,000 shillings cannot feed you for 5 years. 1,000 shillings cannot provide health care. 1,000 shillings cannot provide you security for 5 years.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Time to transition to another story that is making headlines, and this is a survey that revealed that most Kenyans have no confidence in EACC's fight on graft. Now, Kenyans have shown little confidence in anti-graft agency, which was ranked 9th among other organizations involved in combating unethical conduct and corruption. This is a report that was released yesterday yesterday that only 28% of Kenyans were confident the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission was effective in combating corruption compared to the Office of the Auditor General, which are topped with 41.6%. And of course, in this particular report, we also saw that police officers are actually topping the list as far as corruption is concerned. Let me ask this one. This is a body that is mandated when it comes to matters fighting corruption in the country, and yet in its own reports, Kenyans are telling them directly that we do not believe that you can actually fight graft. Have we lost the war on graft entirely as a nation? Where are we?
We lost it a long time ago. But you know, the problem is not ESCC. The problem is the Office of Director of Public Prosecution, or DPP. They are the ones with the evidence. You know, the ESCC is just to do their part and say that Brian Amwai is corrupt. And these are the documentations. So it's up to ODPP to prosecute. And if ODPP also wants to say that what ESCC is giving is not sufficient enough to prosecute you, what does ESCC have to do with that? Them is to come up and give you a report that, okay, guys, we did this survey, and this is the percentage of corruption, this is the level of corruption, this is the increase, this, like they said, Ministry of Interior is leading in corruption. Hear that? Corruption, graft cases. And the police are also on the front line. But now, ESCC cannot arrest you and take you anywhere. They will just take your file to Office of Director of Public Prosecution. And then from there, that's where you can be prosecuted. Let me ask you, we have many politicians, former and current, that ESCC has pinned down, more so governors, with serious cases. But when the files reach ODPP, we start seeing some shoddy games and monkey business going around. So we have to put Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to task. They have to do what they should do. Okay. ESCC is to provide that this is the level of corruption cases, and this is what's happening. And then just on that issue, you see, Bran, and I keep referring to one speech that Pierre Lumumba once made there, and he said that in Kenya today, ESCC, for you to survive in that office, you must not do anything. Because if you try to do something serious that will benefit the public, the citizens, you'll be stepping on the toes of the people who put you there. That is the bosses. You get that? Because it is the same bosses who are leading in corruption cases. If ESCC was to pin people down today and ODPP does its role, nobody will be in State House. All of them would be somewhere in Kahawa, in fact, for serious crimes against economic crimes and corruptions. Because that is where they are manufacturing corruption issues. And they have ensured that ESCC did not have enough teeth to bite.
But can these are particular, numbers and in different percentages, noting public officials, different ministerial bodies, all implicated in this particular report. Mm-hmm. Now, we have not fallen short of seeing such reports come out. So yes. Two questions, right? When we have such reports coming out, apart from as Kenyans being alarmed, what are we supposed to understand about our system and how it's working? And also, do you agree with the reports that are stated here?
On the first question, the system is already corrupt. The system is rotten. But what we are saying is, if you talk about ministerial bodies and all that parastatals, those are they are individuals. A building cannot participate in a corruption. A building cannot steal money. This building we cannot say that Media Max is corrupt. There is an individual here who is executing that process. So if you talk about Ministry of Interior leading in corruption, who in Ministry of Interior is leading in corruption or is perpetuating corruption? Who in that ministry? So do we mention that name?
Do we need to be getting to the...
We have to get to the details. If it is Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, because he's at the helm of that ministry, say his name. That Minister of Interior, through Kipchumba, is leading in corruption. So that Kenyans get to know that this is the guy. And then now that file be taken to ODPP for thorough investigation. Okay. And then for prosecution. So what I mean is, I agree with you. The system is corrupted. The system is rotten. But what ESCC needs to do should not give us blank reports. If you are saying that this and this and this parastatal is corrupted, mention the names of people who are perpetuating corruption in that area. If you are talking about police, are you talking about Inspector General? Are you talking about police station commanders? Who are you referring to? mention the names so that Kenyans can understand that indeed these are the individuals who are taking us back.
Siku ya jana EACC wametoa ripoti yao na niko na baadhi ya comments here za Wakenya on Twitter and Facebook. Allow me to just read some of them in regards to EACC report on corruption. I have a comment here from Mokario Senior who says Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission should be disbanded. It is the public domain that EACC no longer serves the interests of the Kenyan citizens but those of a few greedy leaders in government. That's a comment from Mokario on Facebook. Let me now shift my gears to Twitter, ama X ukipenda, niangalia comment in regards to the report ya EACC ya jana. Claire says, where are the politicians? Where are the EACC officers? Where are the finance chief officers? She says, where are the County Public Servants Board, the second most corrupt after EACC? If the above are not contained in the report, then trash the report. It is a useless piece of paper. That's a comment from Claire baada ya jana ya tume EACC kutoa ripoti ya ufisadi nchini Kenya.
All right, let us now move to page 4 of the People Daily, and this has to do with President Uhuru Kenyatta chairing...
page 7.
It's page 7, I beg your pardon. President Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, yesterday chairing the NAC meeting with the Jubilee Party, and of course, he did that virtually. Let me just read that. And of course, the party was severely impacted when the Azimio la Umoja coalition it lost the 2022 elections. And let's take that on. The Jubilee Party yesterday had the National Executive Committee meeting, signaling a major comeback and its intention to play a political role ahead of the 2027 general election. Retired President Uhuru Kenyatta chaired the crucial meeting by video link. Now, the party, which once enjoyed national appeal and was cited as the most popular in Kenya, was severely impacted when Azimio la Umoja coalition lost in the 2022 presidential context. Babu, what do you read from this one in terms of what the direction the party is going to take, even as, people start, forming coalitions ahead of the 2027 elections?
It's a good move that the President Uhuru Kenyatta is now taking over and coming back the system to also be part of the process. As far as making President William Ruto one-term president is concerned.
He hasn't said that.
He hasn't said that, but you see that's now that's the umbilical cord that joins now the leaders with Kenyans, because it's clear in the public domain that the populace, the citizens have agreed in one accord that we must have a one-term president, and parties are restructuring. Okay. And what is happening in Jubilee? You know, we had chaos in Jubilee the other time. And we know the people who are sponsoring chaos in Jubilee. And right now they are under jitters. They are trying to ask themselves questions. Why is it that President is chairing the NEC meeting and everything? And I'm told they'll be having NDC very soon to stamp the authority of party officials and restructuring of the party system. So I think it's a step in the run-up for 2027 elections. I don't know what they are planning, but in the spirit of democracy, it's a good move for them. And I believe that they are going to play a critical role in ensuring that we deliver a new change in this country.
Okay. One of the aspects here, Brian, before you continue, it says internal cohesion. And our organizers said the meeting aimed to strengthen internal cohesion and redefine the party's strategic direction. Yeah. Secretary General Kioni described the meeting as a significant step in reaffirming the party's ideals, strategic direction, and internal unity. Do you feel this particular, strategy, whatever now we will see that will come forth from this, cohesion, if I can say, will bring about what, will give them a new life, a lease of life, for that matter, because this article suggests that they had gotten, their recognition while in the former government, but now when that fell off, or rather there was no victory in that, the re-strategizing is supposed to put them to a point where they can have a semblance of,
Yeah. Right now, many parties are rebranding. Many parties are restructuring for purpose of proper, effective competition 2027. Even the Democratic National Party of Kenya is rebranding and restructuring its leadership and trying to put a face that will show and will incorporate all Kenyans across the country. For purpose of competition, parties are not formed just to participate in elections. Each and every party wishes to compete effectively. You get that? So what's happening in Jubilee is, I would say it's a restructuring of the party to strengthen its operations in regards to 2027 competition. Yeah.
Well, I have a comment here from Kabando. Before I even go to my pages, he says, truth is presently Jubilee and ODM are in blood-based regime via a very elaborate route of stabilization accorded by respective party leaders. This is the bitter plain truth. It is a traumative handshake. We shouldn't begrudge Raila, Uhuru and Ruto. It is their right to deal. All right, that's a comment on 4th of August from Kabando wa Kabano. Allow me now to shift my gears to the next pages this morning before to the next newspaper. In this story, page 21 of People Daily. Patience says, having been in marriage for 6 years, Patience explains that she doesn't see future in it. This is a story of whereby current, all right, where is the story, Jamani? Page 20, sorry, apologies. Page 20 of People Daily. Says, held together by children, not love. All right? In this story, I will be highlighting it well at 9 a.m. with my gang. Patience says that watoto ndio wameweka pamoja. All right? And this story anaelezea kwa niaba ya watu wengi sana ambao wapo kwenye ndoa. For the first years of marriage, they are happy. But after getting kids, ni kama upendo unapotea. Then what unites her and na mpenzi wake, it is only the kids. A very good story. We shall be talking about it at 9 a.m. Held together by children, not love. In the beginning, there was love. Later on, they came children. Love ikaondoka, wakabakia watoto. She says, having been in marriage for 6 years, Patience explains that she's only there because of children. Once they are grown up, she will leave. According to her, there is no emotional connection and love. Mtazamaji, dunia gani tunaishi? Later on, anasema kwamba watoto wakiwa wakubwa, she will leave because there is no emotional connection. Mtazamaji, that is page 20. Lakini pia ndio upate habari, tune in from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Amka Trend Talks. Mimi na Yvonne na Tom Musembi, we shall be discussing deeply about this story. Page 18, chubbiness is no longer a sign of good health. Kitambo, ukiona mtoto akiwa na mashabu, abujubuju, you will think ya kwamba he or she is healthy. Now, wanasema kwamba that is no longer a sign of a good health. Ni ugonjwa. Just to read one sentence, childhood obesity is quietly becoming one of the most urgent health threats of our time. As our waistlines grow, so do the risk. Diabetes, high blood pressure, joint problems are even early signs of heart disease. Kwa mzazi ambaye anaochisho asubuhi leo, ukiona mtoto mashavu yamekuwa makubwa sana au yamekuwa makubwa kupita kiasi, usidhanie ni good health. Just make sure you look for the expert of health, madaktari, wakwambie kama iko sawa ama maybe diabetes, because chubbiness is no longer a sign of good health. Ama namna gani Ken? What do you think with the current trend ya vyakula?
I agree with you.
Kabisa.
I agree with you.
All right, Remy. Hizi story ambazo nimezongelea, we shall be discussing deeply with my gang from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Lakini kwa sasa tuvuke kwa next gazeti, Daily Nation na Taifa Leo na Standard. Okay. Alafu tumalize.
Right, so on the Daily Nation, top story on the Daily Nation is U.S. probes Kenyan officials over RSF links and abductions. Of course, a roadmap to probe. The probe is detailed under a proposed amendment to a bill on 2026 U.S. military spending. It will cover the period from June 24th to 2024 when Kenya secured NATO recognition. Within 90 days of the new law, Secretaries of State, Defense and the Treasury, as well as the Director of National Intelligence, shall review the major non-NATO status of Kenya not later than 180 days after enactment of the Act. A classified report on the findings of the investigation shall be submitted to Congress by the Secretary of State. On issues to do with diplomacy, of course, U.S. Senator and Chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Jim Risch, who criticized President William Ruto in May for his dalliance with China, has petitioned Congress to sanction a probe by President Donald Trump's administration against Kenyan official of abductions, links to Sudan, RSF, and ties to China. Russia, and Iran. This is a story on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. The Standard also reporting the same thing, Remy?
Yes, it is. That is Ruto on U.S. radar. Now, it says here, in a stunning rebuke, the U.S. Senate is weighing whether to strip Kenya of its coveted major non-NATO ally status just a year after granting the honor. At the heart of the fallout, allegations of Nairobi's ties to rogue armed groups, abductions and torture of civilians, and alignments with China, Russia, and Iran. The proposed amendments demands a sweeping reassessment of U.S.-Kenya military and intelligence ties, a potential diplomatic blow that could isolate President Ruto's government and redefine America's partnerships in the country.
All right, Babu, as we wind up on this conversation here this morning, what do we make of this, probe that the country is currently facing, and how we've been able to handle our diplomatic relations in the past few months, if you may?
I think, Amwai, you are the media and you guys have been reporting many issues here, and it is clear that our diplomatic relations we are doing badly. With not even leave alone before even we reach US, even within the neighbors, you're not doing well. If we can have an opposition leader, one of the top figures in Uganda being abducted from here and taken back, and then we have our citizens being abducted in Tanzania and taken through all that happened, then brought back here, then it shows that we have a big problem. The regime that is in place right now do not have a proper way to handle cross-border relations. And now we are having issues with we are on the radar of the US. Okay. And Mr. William Ruto has been consistent on operating with the China. And you see, these are things that he might take them lightly. But I keep saying that whatever decision that Mr. William Ruto will make in this country might not affect him directly. But the people of Kenya should be more concerned than any other person. More so, the young people should be concerned and ask questions more than any other person. Because anything that is going to happen today has got chances of affecting the future more than today. Get that? So if on the issues of on the US being on our radar and all that you saw, I saw the report last evening on news. I want to say that the president must step up and get serious with the management of international affairs as far as Kenya is concerned, and must stop operating this country like some chicken store in his own town.
Okay, so what will this do? Because you're talking about the population, the young people should actually ask more questions as far as with anything that the president is doing, because it's going to affect them, in the long run. What will this do for the young generation and the young population in this country? Yourself. Chances of
people being deported back to Kenya so high. Trump is not a joke. You know that, and he's on record that he will, and there are people who have been deported. So if President Ruto continues operating this way, then chances of even us moving into the US or some other generation moving to the US for maybe job opportunities and all that are limited. Get that?
Not because. Sorry to interrupt you, Ken, but now with the alignments when it comes to China, Russia, and Iran, as the articles are both suggesting Delineation and the Standard, what does it suggest that we are doing when it comes to diplomacy?
Diplomacy, we are not doing well. We are not doing well. Let me tell you, Remy.
But what do the strategic alignments mean?
Strategic alignment, yeah, it's okay. It's good to take an alignment and take sides. But then, in whose interest? That's the biggest question. President Ruto cannot take alignment in his own interest on behalf of the country. Get that? You saw the other time the Communist Party of China or something visited the UDA headquarters, and a delegation from UDA went to the party in China, and they did some exchange program. That was inter-party exchange program. But then they want to make it look like it was on behalf of the entire country. Not all Kenyans are members of UDA, and not all Kenyans don't subscribe to ideologies of UDA. So President must not make it look like anything that UDA is doing with the Communist Party of the Party of China should now transform into the entire country's decision. So if he's aligning, if maybe he's aligning his party with the China's party, That should not mean that that's the interest of Kenyans.
Right.
Then, therefore, he needs to consult with the people that, guys, this is the alignment we are taking and these are the international options we are weighing, and then consult with the populace.
Okay.
At the end of the day, this country belongs to everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Time to take a break here on Amka Kenya, and of course our conversation continues on the other side. Yes, take a break.
Right, and we're taking a short break. We'll be back with more of these conversations right here on Amka Kenya. Do stay with us.